Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this Easter. Is it Easter Saturday? It's kind of Easter Saturday, isn't it? It's not really a word, Easter Saturday. I remember when I used to live in Germany, we had Easter Sunday and we had Easter Monday, and those are kind of days off, and that was kind of very nice. But in America, we don't have Easter Monday off. I think we have an Easter Sunday, on which day the most shops are closed, which is interesting. Which is only 3 occasions in the year where these shops are closed. So I think there's Easter Sunday. There's, of course, Christmas. What is it? Christmas Day? Christmas Eve? Christmas Day? Boxing Day doesn't exist here. And the third day is, what is it? Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving, that's the one. Exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. Rod, welcome Rod. Hello Biscuit. Hello Julia. And of course, hello Christina. It is so nice to see you all. And thank you so much everyone else who's watching, who's not chatting. That's totally fine too. We love you all the same. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend, or kind of weekend is just beginning. And of course, today we're going to try and find more funky goodies in the wonderful world of Subnautica. So my plan today is to find a rather large wreck, which I've found before. I just can't quite remember where it is. So I think it's about, I believe, kind of 700 meters opposite where the Aurora sank. And in that wreck there are some goodies that we need. I think in my last game I found the power cell charger, which is good because when we need to tank up our Seamoth, that little submarine that we're going to drive around in, we need to find a way to either constantly build new power cells, or we're going to have to find a way to charge them up, and that power cell charger will make that possible. So the power cell charger is a different device to the battery charger. They both charge up things, but of course the power cell charger charges up power cells, the battery charger charges up batteries. And I believe, if I remember correctly, we've built that battery charger last time when we played, when we were looking around, and we built that scanner room. So that's my other plan today. Maybe not deconstruct the scanner room, but certainly take the scanner room and build another one somewhere else, because the scanner rooms only have like a 250 meter range, and beyond that they can't see what's going on. So I'm thinking we're going to just build another one somewhere else, and we're going to have a look around if we find other wreck pieces. And of course, wreck pieces, then that means more blueprints means more goodies means we can enter the Aurora and cut open things and see what else is going on. And finally, and that's the other thing that I'm trying to do today, is listen in on some of the radio messages and see if that rescue party from the Sunbeam is on the way. The Sunbeam, that was that ship that was sending us messages saying, hey, actually we've got you on the radar, we're coming to get you. So I'm hoping we can kind of dip into that. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Oh yes, everyone, do you all have a hot drink? I've got my large cup of coffee in an insulated mug. Julia's got brandy, actually. Oh, that's hot. Very cool. It is only a tiny one. I hope everyone's got coffee. So there we go. Let's have a look what happens in our Subnautica game. Oops, I think I need to switch some other things around here. There we go, that's it. So currently we are in our, what's it called, the observatory, and we can see our grav trap doing its thing outside. I can also see we should eat something and we should drink something. So yeah, Biscuits has got her tea, I've got my coffee, and hugs to Julia indeed. There we go. Brandy and tea drinkers alike. Right, so we do have the battery charger. That's good to know. So perhaps we're going to add that power cell charger should we find it. Let me know if the return is okay, the video feed. Mine is kind of a little wonky, but it's always wonky when I'm streaming something out. It's always coming back a little bit wonky, but when I watch the return later, it all seems fine. So let me know if you're good there with the quality. I hope you are. This, by the way, is that scanner room that we built last time, and we can literally just dismantle the whole thing and then take it somewhere else. Let's see if we can have a look at that grav trap and just see if there's anything edible in there. We have a little lunch or dinner before we get started. Oh, there we go, lots of peepers. Hey, today the peepers caught in the grav trap have their eyes open. That's good. Do you remember that was a little issue that we had there a few days ago? Okay, good stuff. That's one fish. Peeper. This is going to be made slightly easier when we go and get that stasis rifle. Stasis rifle allows us to literally put a bubble around all these fish, and then they're just in the air and they're not going to move for like 20-30 seconds or so, and that allows us to just pick them off one by one. It's going to make our fishing expedition a lot easier. Mr. Wise, hello, thank you for joining us. A very, very warm welcome to Houston, Texas there. I've been there once, by the way, Houston. That was in the 90s, late 90s. My friend got married there, a friend from Germany. He used to work for IBM back in the day. And I think IBM, they were in Austin or Houston, I can't remember. He was living both in Houston and in Austin. Very nice area, that. I didn't have a car at the time. I still don't have a car, actually. I can't actually drive. But yes, there's fond memories of Houston. I was just wondering where those lights came from, and that's of course my sea moth, I guess. And the sea moth's lights are on. I don't know, every time I switch them off, they just come back on when I reload the game in there. But what I like about the lights is, and you can see that in some older video games, that the cones here, the lights that are coming out of the sea moth, they are literally just 3D shapes of a cone here. And they start right here. You can just about see that here. That's where the cone starts, and then they just have a bit of a fall off. And so I guess the way they've done these lights then is just apply a translucent material and get a very slight, just, you know, light or fog to it. Could even be an emissive, don't know, but it'd be interesting to recreate those types of effects in DAZ Studio and see if we can do that. And of course, I'm always as mesmerized by these volumetric lights here. They're coming from the surface of the water. I really don't know how they've done it, how they've made that effect, but I sure as hell would love to recreate that somehow. Speaking of lights, let's just go into the sea moth and switch those lights off. There, bit of energy saving there. I don't actually know if it uses up any energy, but one of those things. Some of us are conscious of using up too much electricity. So let's see what we've caught here. Cooked peeper, always nice. Maybe more cooked peeper. 3 cooked peepers, there we go. The rest I think I'm going to put in the food cupboard. Oh, you mean the spring? Was it spring? Was that it, Mr. Wise? Yes, I saw that. I saw that live. It's a short movie made by the Blender Institute, and they've premiered it. I've watched the premiere. It was very exciting to see that. I had a lot of fun doing that. There were so many people in the chat. It was amazing. Yes, how did you like it? I think it was extremely well done. I was so happy that they could make that. At first I wasn't quite sure how long it was going to be. It was, in the end, I think about 5-6 minutes. Ah, there we go. The peepers have their eyes closed again. What a shame. Peepers with their eyes closed. Yes, I enjoyed that. Thanks for bringing that up. It's on the Blender channel. If anyone has the link, please share it with us. It's well worth watching. And of course, if you're a Blender Cloud subscriber, you get all the assets with which they've made the movie for free. So it's not only are they making the movie available for free, they're also making all the assets available for free. So if you want to know how they've animated that little dog, or how they've animated that tree, or how any of the shaders are done, you can just go and pick those assets up at the Blender Cloud. It's very exciting stuff. let's just put all these things into the food cupboard here so that we know where to get them if and when we need them. I think we could get some water as well, for which we need some salt, I believe. Do we have that in the salt cupboard? Don't we have a salt cupboard? I thought I had a salt cupboard somewhere. I've got diamonds, equipment random, gold, silver, quartz, salt. There we go. Okay, we can get this, and together with a bit of salt, we can make... Oh, wrong direction there. We can make some bleach. Bleach, of course, as it would in reality, makes some water, and water we can drink. All right. I'll drink that and I'll keep one bottle of water. And perhaps I'm going to just put those 2 titanium pieces away into one of my many titanium lockers. They'll always come in handy. Thank you, Mr. Wise. Very nice of you. Okay, so I'll say let's leave the scanner room as it is, and let's see if we can find that big wreck and do some deep sea diving there. Let's just check if we have enough power. Well, certainly don't have enough power in here. Look, that's 6% charge on our Sea Glide, 76 on the builder. The scanner's 32%. So yeah, I guess we can probably go and grab those 2 batteries here and exchange the one. Whoops. Exchange the one in the Sea Glide for something charged 100%, and I guess we'll exchange this one maybe for the one with 100%, and that's got 100% power. That's perfect. So now we're going to put those empty batteries, or empty-ish batteries, into the battery charger, and hopefully they're going to be full by the time we get back from our little exhibition. As I said, I don't quite remember exactly where that big wreck was, but I seem to remember that it was not towards the Aurora. So this is the Aurora here at night, and that's kind of in the easter direction. So it was either south or it was north. I have a feeling it was north. So let's head north, grab our sea moth and head north. It's about 700 meters from what I remember. Okay, we've got about 39% power here. You can see that in the bottom right-hand corner. Let's switch our lights on and let's go north and see what we find. Ideally, we'll take that scanner room or scanner room materials and build that up slightly further north. But for now, I just want to have a look in the general direction and see what we can find there. That'll make some titanium. Perhaps if we needed that, we could pick it up. Maybe we will pick it up. If we don't need it, we can always bring that back. This is another really nice effect here, the shadows of us. So from what I gather, this game wasn't always supposed to be a first-person immersive animation. They had scenes in there in which they've animated the main character. I think when you watch the trailer for Subnautica, there's still this character who is kind of in his base, and he is walking in front of a window and is telling us the story of what's happening there. So that hints at the fact that there may have been some third-person elements involved, or just some cutscenes, and they got rid of them all. So the animations for that main character, they would have probably still be in the game, but I guess we don't see them anymore. There's so much work, such a ton of work going into a game like this. Oh, there we go, some salt. We can take that to make some water with, or rather bleach, just like we did a minute ago. And if you look at the outline of the character, you can see that he's not as high resolution as he probably would be, but I guess this is done with a shadow map, or just on an angle projected onto the floor. Some games, especially in the sort of 15 years ago, they would just put a soft diffuse little ring underneath the character, and that would be the shadow. So if you're looking at games like the Ratchet and Clank series, or there's things like that, even Mario, the 3D Mario games, they just have a tiny diffuse spot underneath their character. This is a big wreck. I do seem to remember, yes, we've been here before. Look at that, we have a little beacon at the top, so I believe that is something we've already looked at. Yeah, that's cool. So we'll just keep going north. Oh my god, Mr. Wise, it takes hours and hours indeed. And it takes, I mean, what I find super fascinating is that it looks like game development these days is more expensive than movie development. Can you believe that? It's unbelievable that the prices are now so high for game development. And that's because you have to have that huge team. We've got the laser cutter already. But you have to have that huge team to build assets and to just, you know, I mean, the fact remains that games are now so high resolution that it just takes this huge team of people to build all these things. Now, the guys from Subnautica here, Unknown Worlds, they're a very small team, or at least they used to be when they started making this game. And today you also have the big advantage that you can grab an off-the-shelf game engine that does basically everything for you that you want to do, rather than having to write your own game engine from scratch. So back in the day, the people who used to develop games, they had to develop the development tools themselves first to be able to use them. So there were no, oh, just grab Unity or grab Unreal and then start bringing in assets. It didn't work like that. You had to literally write the code yourself with which you could then start writing the game. So that's how things like Unreal actually started. There used to be a game called Unreal. Ooh, power transmitter. Love it. And it looks like we found another biome here. I don't think I've seen these things before when we played. So very interesting, very exciting for a good screenshot here. Let's have a look at that. This is what happens. You set out to do one thing and you discover 50 other things. Like these new fish, for example. What are these guys? As long as they're not attacking us, I'm fairly happy to coexist with you guys. Yes, these things here. See if we can learn anything from these things, whatever they are. Tree mushrooms. So it looks like we've scanned them already. You know, maybe I'll get rid of some of these beacons here because they do interfere a little bit with our visuals. There we go. The beacons are just the markers for the cameras and for our home base and all that. And also, I guess I'm aware of the fact that I'm still wearing my radiation helmet, which isn't good in depths below 100 meters. So maybe I'm going to put that rebreather on, and that should increase my oxygen deficiency. And of course, it's radiation station here. So sorry, I'm going to put that radiation helmet back on. Otherwise, I'll lose too much health. So very interesting, these things, but I don't think they seem to do anything. I mean, you know, not that that's a bad thing.
30 seconds.
Whoops, yes. Now that I've switched the beacons off, where's my sea moth? That beacon I've also switched off. That shouldn't have happened. Sea moth. Boom. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if we can make it to the surface just in time. Oh, come on. Swim into the light, dude. I just about made it. Where is my sea moth? Wasn't it just here? I could have sworn it was just here. Sea moth. There we go. Supposed to be on and red. but I can't see it. Oh, there. Right. Whew.
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
So then, speaking of game engines, actually, there's another very exciting thing that you see in, well, I wouldn't say older games. It's still a technique that's still employed. It's just, woo, ow. That hurt. Oh my god, I'm 60% damaged. Let me just make some repairs here while I'm thinking about it. If we do have that repair tool. Repair tool, perfect. What would we do without that repair tool? I wish we had one of those things at home. I almost did kick the bucket. Usually when that happens, nothing much happens. You're just being transferred back to your nearest base. But if you found some goodies, you'll lose them at that point where you died, so you can then pick them up later. He doesn't look inviting, does he? Wow. Mobile electricity over there. Wow. Best get out of here. Oh my god, look, the biome changes again. Where are we now? We certainly haven't seen these things before. And new fish. This is a great example of something I was just going to mention. Back in the day, when you look at video games from maybe 10 years ago, there was a very defined way of starting a level, playing through the level, and then ending a level. Oh my god, who are you? And there is a technique now that, so basically you go, my god, look, they grow big, don't they? Huge bulbs. Do you think you've got these things growing in your sewer? Blue little balls. This is kind of funny, but I think you can eat these things. Let's go scan them. Common bulb bush. Nice one. How about you? Are you giant bulb bush? Yeah, exactly. Oh man, this is huge. Giant bulb bush. So do we have a medium bulb bush as well? No. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, before I got distracted by these visuals, there was this point at which you start a level, you play through the level, and you end the level. And then the game would say, okay, great, I'm going to load the next level. And there's a loading screen, and then you start another level. And with Subnautica and many other games made with Unreal and Unity, that doesn't seem to happen anymore. So there's now a kind of a thing that's called world streaming. These things, bulb bush sample, you can consume them and it will give us water as well as food. How exciting. So yes, this world streaming thing means we don't have to do that anymore. We can, oh man, I'm going to kick the bucket again, aren't I? I'm getting so distracted with things. Can we reach the sea moth? Oh, I have to take better care of my health. I was trying to listen what the computer was saying there. I didn't really catch that. Hey, thanks, Rod. Yes, I've seen you've posted that video. I've got that Rod Fest coming up. You know, I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, from what I gather, your sewers are okay again, are they? These guys, I've seen that picture you posted on Renderosity. These guys were just, my God, they were digging up your garden good there. I'm glad they could put all the equipment into your garden in the first place. That was kind of nice. Stroke of good luck there. Yeah, Rodfest. Let's register the domain rodfest.com.
Detecting massive energy signature in the region.
Oh.
Cannot identify.
Energy in the region, huh? Well, I think this looks a little bit too deep for me. I can only go far down as 200 meters with my current configuration of the sea moth. So if I try and go any further, I'll be crushed to death. So I can just about see that there's something going on here on the ocean floor. But I think this is something we may have to explore a little bit later as the game progresses and as we get better equipment to dive deeper. So the player can dive as deep as he wants. That's cool. So like I could go and dive 1,000 meters deep if I wanted to. Ooh, moon pool fragment. Let's check it out. But my sea moth will be crushed currently at about 200 meters.
200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Get some silver while we're at it. It is just scary swimming around here. Somebody behind me keeps biting me. I can hear that already. There's another scary creature in the distance there. This purple guy here. He can teleport apparently, so let's stay out of his way. And these guys, oh my god, look at that. These red guys seem to be eating the peepers. Just like us.
Oxygen.
There we go. What's this other thing here? I don't think I've explored that other thing. This thing, is that something we can scan? Another whirlpool fragment. Oh, okay. Ooh,
New blueprint acquired.
that is exciting. Moon pool, ladies and gentlemen, let's try it out. Let's build the moon pool. So the moon pool is something. I'm going to go and put our life pod back on so we find our way home. I currently have no idea where we even are. We are currently, oh my goodness, 1,600 meters away from home. No wonder it's scary out here. There's me thinking we're venturing out 700 meters or something. Not the case. We're more than twice as far away from home. So the moon pool is an interesting thing. It's it's kind of part of a base. We can build it with our base builder, and we can attach it to our base. And it's kind of a garage of sorts. It means we can park our sea moth, and it will automatically charge itself up in there. What is that? It just so happened that we happened across something that looks like a landmass. I hadn't quite anticipated that, but this is an island. And in fact, we can go on that island. Do we have a beacon here? A beacon with us we can place on the island? Looks like we don't. Oh, we can always eat this, I guess. I was decomposing. Well, let's eat it anyway. Frees up some inventory here. And there's a bottle of water. I'll have that as well. Yeah, so this is an island with some kind of a scary alien structure attached to it. So this is another major expedition I can see here. Very interesting. So we're going to come back to this. For now, let's go home and build that moon pool. I hadn't anticipated the moon pool either. Very exciting. Lots of good things are happening. So just to get our bearings here, we're now about 1,200 meters from the base, and to find that island again, I guess, if we're now swimming about south-southwest, then logic would dictate that if we go north-northeast from our base, we should find that island again. And we shall do that. We shall do that soon. This looks like it's part of the island. Look at that. Yes, it is an island. I'm sure we'll find a way to get on this island. So this looks like it's a little bit too steep to jump on that and explore this rock. Looks a bit like Alcatraz, doesn't it? But hey, more on that later. Maybe that's something for the next episode, next Saturday. Yeah, View Rod, that was a good program. View, I believe I've tried a trial version once, but I never really got into it. It was one of those programs that I thought, oh, that's got potential. But yes, one of those things is my list of things to do is just way too long. We've explored this wreck already. Just as a reminder, here's our beacon on that. I will leave the beacon intact. Just thought, wreck must explore. So. What's the first order, by the way? I don't think I know that. Hello, Aki. Welcome. Welcome to Subnautica Saturday. Lovely to see you. Where are you joining us from today? Anything interesting we can pick up here? Looks like we've been over here before too. Finland! How exciting! Good evening to Finland. We've just found the moonpool fragments. Just looking for something completely different. I was looking for wreck pieces and I found 2 pieces of what's known as the moonpool. And that is a base part that we can attach to our base here. And that will hopefully charge up our sea moth. And it'll also allow us to make modifications to the sea moth. So let's see what we can do there. I'm not entirely sure where it'll fit on. I will leave the lights on for now because it's the darkest night here. So we can either try and put the moon pool over on this side, but then maybe they'll interfere with that observatory. So maybe we can put it either on here somewhere, that should work, or we can put it directly next to the scanner room. So I could try and put it on here. Let's see what we need for that first. I'm not sure. I don't even know what we need for the moon pool. So it's made with this little construction tool here, and there it is. This is the moon pool, vehicle docking bay with high energy and structural requirements. So 2 lead, bit of lubricant, and 2 titanium ingots. Well, that's easy to come by. What say you? Shall we build that? Let's build it. No, Aki, it's not my first walkthrough. It's I've played over 200 hours of this game together with my wife Julia, who's also here today, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We played the game through. It's very exciting, and it was so good, in fact, that I thought I want to share it with my friends. So there we go. That's what I'm doing now. So I kind of know the story, but I'm trying to not give any spoilers away, even though it is such a cool game. Hello, Aki Lights. Welcome from Martinique. How exciting! We're a very international crowd today. I love that. Martinique, you're very much in my neighborhood. Well, if I say my neighborhood, I'm in Miami Beach, so it's also very tropical down here. So Martinique, I understand, is not that far away. Let's fritter some of our things away that we've just found. So, for example, there was a bit of salt, I remember. Salt here and some copper. Copper, right? Yeah, copper and some silver. Nice one. Silver goes in here. Copper. I like it. Have you played Subnautica before, Aki and Aki Lights? I'm gonna ditch some of my things and put them in that locker here. Maybe in the random locker, or the equipment locker even. Let's keep it all filed away. So this, and that. So get myself some more space. Hey, Aki, thank you for your subscription. Very nice. And isn't that walk animation nice? I love this guy. This this little zombie walking there. Sponsored by, or brought to us by Streamlabs, of course. Now, in order to make titanium ingots, we need a lot of titanium. And lucky for us, we've got so much in our cupboards. How many pieces have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 8, 9, 10. That's for one ingot. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again. So that's 20 pieces of titanium. It's like 20 pieces of silver, isn't it? Like us in the Caribbean over here. There we go. Let's build one ingot. Oh, you played the early access version, right? Yes. Yeah, I didn't know about it then. My colleague Jason was saying to me he had played this in early access and he was so chuffed that they could actually make this game. Oh, that's more titanium here. Excellent. I'm going to take that out of the random locker, by the way, and I'm just going to put that back in my other locker. I'm just looking through if we find any lubricant. I don't think we have lubricant. It's easy to come by. That's, I believe, is made of creep vine. Put some titanium where it should be. And I believe we have a lot of lead as well. Or so my memory tells me. Do we have lead anywhere? Lead? Lead? Anybody? Lead? Lead? Food? Lead. There we go. Aha. So 2 pieces of lead. And we need some lubricant, and that should build our wonderful moon pool. I think I frittered some uncooked fish away here earlier. Let me just eat some, maybe 3 peepers. That should do the trick. Okay, let's cook some peeper. Oh, sorry to hear that, Christina. Christina is uploading a video currently, which I'm very much looking forward to. I did a live stream yesterday about how to animate numbers, so build numbers in Blender, and then animate them in Dash Studio. That was very exciting. That's on my channel. Check it out if you're interested in that. And in so doing, maybe I'll keep that peeper. In so doing, I've built, I didn't really worry about the topology of the text very much. I just created that, and that doesn't look great by default when you do that in Blender, when you convert that into an actual object. But Christina said, hey, there's a much better way to do it and retain your topology. And that is what she wanted to explain to me, and that's what she made a quick video about. And I very much appreciate that. I so look forward to that. So good luck with the upload. And it's one of those things, if you don't have a good internet connection, it can really, it's just not nice, is it? So I think this, I forgot to look now, this is making lubricant. I think creepvine clusters, seed clusters, is that right? I'm going to go and consult my blueprint database, perhaps inside the CMOS so I don't run out of oxygen. Yeah, watching those stalkers do their business here, sharpening their teeth on metal fragments and stealing my camera. There, let me just take that away. This is not a toy, guys. Oh my god. Neither is my Seamoth. Get away from my Seamoth. We've not scanned these guys? Or maybe this is a perfect opportunity. Maybe they're mating, I don't know. We're in the middle of something here. Ow. Just scanning you, dude. It's not going to hurt. Indigenous life forms, stalker. Yes, lots of them. Ow. Right, that's it. Yeah, you keep that. That's cool. You can keep that. I'm going to keep... No. I'm going to keep my sanity. And then he's hunting me. Unbelievable. Yes, blueprints. Is it equipment? Oh, what the hell? You know what? I'm going to just pick up some of the yellow things, and I'm going to also pick up some of the green stuff here. So just hack some of this off. If my friend the Stalker lets me do that here. I really can't remember where to find those ingredients now. There, two of that, that should do the trick. Oh, and of course we've got a radio message as well, so let's not forget that. If I do forget that... Where's home? There's home. Oh, ouch. That is not good news, Aki. I've had this before, that my Seamoth was parked literally outside my base, too close to the ground, like, you know, basically like this. And I went off with something else, submarine or something, or swam away, came back, and that's not nice, that's unnecessary, isn't it? And I came back and the Seamoth was telling me it was literally still where it was supposed to be, but it was underneath the ground. So I didn't fall through, my Seamoth fell through. And that was really bad because I was thinking, well, how am I going to get it back? And luckily I found a little cheat there that let me do this this thing about warping underneath the ground and then picking it up again. So lubricant, let's make some lubricant from creepvine seed cluster. Well, let's make more. And that makes fiber mesh. So the green stuff makes fiber mesh, the creepvine sampler. Okay, let's do that. Sometimes you just have to get the console involved. I try not to, but sometimes it's very important to do that. Fiber mesh, let's put that here. Let's put one lubricant thing here. The camera drone, let's put that here as well. Actually, cameras maybe equipment. Yeah, let's maybe put that in the equipment locker. If it fits, doesn't fit. Great, let's put it in the random locker, it's fine. Okay, so this means we should have all the pieces for the moon pool now. Let's see if we can potentially heal ourselves first. After that stalker bit me, very uncool. I refuse to build another medical fabricator downstairs because I'm thinking, hey, I've got one up here. Much like with the radio. The radio is here and, you know. Shall we listen to that message or shall we build that moon pool first? What do you think, guys? The message means we would move the story forward, but then maybe we don't have time to build the moon pool. Whereas the moon pool, having the moon pool would be kind of cool to, you know, just have that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Radio, moon pool. Moon pool, I like it. Ha! 50-50. Aki Light says moon pool. Rod says message. Julia says radio. I'm going to go with Aki Lights, you know. I'm going to build that moon pool. We will listen to that message forthwith. I believe that's the word that I'm looking for. So I'm going to try and build that here because I'm very confident that this may work here. It's building moon pools and scanner rooms. That's not easy because the way these things are being placed, they're kind of, I think they're kind of grid layout, and sometimes it just doesn't really work. So yeah, I could build the moon pool here, but it means it's not connected to anything. I like to connect it to my base, which I believe is kind of a patience puzzle in itself. So I could put it here. Let's just half build it and see how that works. So I mean, it would go here, but will it connect to that scanner room? Or will I have to go and turn it around? So I think I can go and when you build that, when you build that like so, you have the option to turn it around, I think. There used to be the option. I see, the option no longer works. That's not good, is it? Oh, hey, that's only, 18 minutes late. Thanks, YouTube, but that's better late than never, as they say. What's happening with your internet connection then, Christina? So are they rectifying it? Did they give you like a tentative date? From what I understand, your on like LTE or 4G at the moment. Look at that. So that connection wasn't exactly showing that. I'm glad it kind of just popped into place. That's good. When you build pieces of the base, it's always good to keep an eye out at the top left corner about how well the structure holds up, because if that goes below 0, it means your base is going to develop rifts and it will flood.
Human contact. It is normal to experience psychological discomfort. Research indicates symptoms may be partly alleviated by adopting a pet or anthropomorphizing an inanimate object.
Sometimes what the computer says is just so super cute. I should perhaps go and grab some oxygen. Let me in. Oh man. I do like leaving it to the very last minute these days, don't I? Terrible. Where's my medication? So, now that we've built that moon pool, which was much more harmless than I thought it was going to be, we can build into it, and here it is. My goodness, that's the moon pool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, moon pool. $50 meg, that's good. That's up or download speed. That's download speed, right? 50 meg down versus 6 meg down. 6 meg is not good, that's true. That is extremely funny, Julia. That is so super funny. Yes, well, we'll find out. We're going to listen to that in a moment. So for now, I mean, this is a very interesting little funky thing. So it's part of your base, but it also has access to the water. Do you remember? It reminds me of this TV show from the 80s with Roy Scheider. Do you remember that? Sequest DSV, I think it was called. And was it with the guy out of Dallas as well? Bobby from Dallas. What was his name again? Patrick Duffy. That's him, exactly. Patrick Duffy, that was him. Totally showing my age here. I used to enjoy that series in the 80s. And he had these fins between his hands, and he used to be this weird man fish thing that could swim. And I think Roy Scheider was the guy who was overlooking, I don't know, and that's basically where I forgot how these things worked in that show. Oh wow, 3 meg, Christina. That is not a lot. Do you remember that, Rod? Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. Sequest DSV, and that's exactly that scene that I've got that it reminds me of. He was every once in a while he just kept swimming into this, and then he got a mission or something. That's back in the day. So we can now go and take our sea moth and just go up, and it will automatically dock here. That's the moon pool. And the exciting thing is now that I believe, I'm not entirely sure if it's happening already or if we need a special part for that already, but it also is supposed to charge up. Look at that, it says energy charging. So it charges up our sea moth. Is that exciting or what? So whenever we park here, this thing is being charged up from the solar panel that we've got on top of the roof, if we have enough energy, that is. And then we can just, go on longer journeys without ever having to worry about the power that the sea moth is consuming. Yeah, 3 meg down, that is just, it's funny, isn't it, how these priorities of ours have changed from internet is an optional luxury thing that we can have to it's almost as important as electricity and running water these days, and phone lines. It's crazy, huh? Yes, I've noticed that, Aki Lights. I don't know what's going on here. Why that fourth leg isn't being built. But hey, as long as it works, perhaps it makes my approach to the moon pool a bit easier, so I can go and approach it from here without having to worry about that leg. I think it's likely when we go somewhere else and then come back to our home base here, I believe that leg is probably going to appear at one point. Okay, let's test Julia's theory and see what the radio message says. For God's sake, don't build the moon pool. I'm going to crank the audio up a little bit so that we can all hear it. Let's see what the Sunbeam has to say.
This is Life Pod 4. We've landed close to the Aurora. Flotation device is active, but we've got some big old fish in the water with us. And I don't know how long we're going to last.
Tell me about it.
Close to the crash site, so bring radiation protection. 4 out.
Signal coordinates corrupted. Approximate transmission origin recorded to data bank.
Well, okay. Sounds good. I mean, at least there's the possibility of some more survivors here. Let's see what that data bank says. Signal coordinates corrupted. Oh, we've already seen that. I'm not entirely sure how to work this thing, I must say. Data downloads? Is that it? Aurora survivors. There we go. Life pod logs. That's not it either. Codes and clues. That could be it. Life pod 4 transmission origin. Let's have a look. A distress signal has been received from LifePod 4, but the attached coordinates were corrupted. Last available photographic data has been downloaded and analyzed. Flotation device is active. LifePod located at sea level. Pod is in close proximity to radioactive fallout from the Aurora. Transmission origin approximately 150 meters northwest of the Aurora's port midsection. So, the port midsection, so is that here or is that on the other side of the Aurora? Yeah. I guess powering the scanner room and the moon pool, who's charging up a sea moth, all from a single solar panel, was just a little bit much for our power supply, which is just, you know, given up, I guess. So, yeah. No lights, no oxygen, no power. Tell you what, let's build another solar panel on our base then, just so that we've got some, that we can power all these things. Solar panel, 2 quartz, 2 titanium, and a bit of copper ore. Yeah, let's build that now. It's not going to kick in until the next day cycle, but it is something, you know, I think we should consider. Oh, old cooked peeper. I better eat that. There we go. 2 quartz. What was it again?
Seek fluid intake.
2 titanium and a bit of copper ore. Yay, you made it, Christina. Thank you so much. That's your video. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a look at that later. I'm looking forward to that. Copper. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what other tips and tricks you can teach me. It's very exciting to know that there's so many ways to do essentially the same thing. I love that. That's just Blender for you. Sometimes the sport is figuring out, hey, how do we do this thing today? I don't really like it that wonky. Let's make it, let's put it opposite this, and let's have a look a little bit at the aesthetics here. Just a tiny bit there, like that. What do you think? Okay, so 2 solar panels means we should have a total of 150 whatever points of energy down here. Yes, we have. Look at that. Power 0 of 150. Obviously, there we go. Whew. Just in time.
Emergency power restored. All primary systems online.
Yeah, I guess charging batteries, powering the scanner room, charging the sea moth, that is all, you know, that's all a little bit much there. We need some furniture here, you know, benches, maybe some lockers here. What do you think? Windows, posters. That's an idea for the poster, actually. Let me grab that poster. We've picked up a poster earlier. And I put that here, but a natural selection poster. I think I'm going to put that in the moon pool instead. And I think then we're going to have to literally look at drinking something, because I think I'm walking a little bit slow already. Elementor, I've never heard of that. Thanks for the tip, I'll check that out. Is that a premium theme? Does that cost anything? There, looks like home already. And currently, I guess the base isn't very efficient if we have to walk through the scanner room every time we want to go and do something in our base. So maybe we're going to put that all-purpose room, maybe we're going to put that at the other side of the... It's not doing anything at the moment, so we're going to put that at the other side of the moon pool, I'm thinking. Yes, yes, I will. Give us a chance. Salt, there we go. Let's grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 salt bits and bobs here. And let's find the nearest big coral tube here, this thing here. Oh, good, excellent. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm gonna have a look into that. I like Divi. I must say I've built the Super Survivor website with that, but it is a little bit slow, and I like the options. I've been using the Elegant Themes building tools for years, for clients mainly, and it's really nice, but I think perhaps I just need something really simple. And my website, I mean, even though it's not perfect, it's doing its thing. I just wanted to make a few amendments. I thought maybe I'll bring it up to speed with the 21st century on this occasion. So I'll have a look into it. Thank you. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Aki Lights, that if I basically turn them towards the sun, they have a better yield? That's exciting. I didn't know that. I thought you can just put them any which way. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just making all the bleach I can make and then turning them to so many water bottles that I can. I think we've found the water filtration machine, so I think maybe that's something we can do next time. We'll just go and build that water filtration machine. It's fairly large, but it'll just produce water all the time without us having to worry about it. So I think that's something that we're going to do next time. I think that's definitely on our list of things to do.
Vital signs stabilizing.
There, cool. We'll keep 4 water bottles just in case. And then perhaps we'll put that in here as well. If we find more salt, that's it. Let's eat another 2 peepers maybe. And then that should be dinner sorted. Then we can go and see if we find that other wreck I was talking about. And also see if we find that life pod 4. See if there's any goodies in there. Something floating on the surface. We should be able to find that. There. Grab some equipment. And just like in Sequest DSV, we'll see what we can find. I think maybe we'll leave the Sea Glide here in favor of having more space in our inventory. I don't think I'm walking faster now that I've had some water. It just looked like that. Oh yes, here, upgrades for the Seamoth. That's another thing. What we need to find next is something we built, I believe here, or somewhere in the moon pool, that will allow us to build upgrades for the Seamoth. And one of these upgrades is a depth module. So that will let us dive much further down than just 200 meters. There we go, charged 100%. Woohoo! Oh, the only thing that we haven't just done yet is my bottom right corner. It says 62%, and that means this thing is gonna fall apart in a minute. That's the laser cutter, that's not gonna work, but the repair tool is gonna do an excellent job at repairing my little Seamoth. There we go. GP Vault, what does that do? All GPL plugins, interesting. So many exciting tips, Christina. I'll check it out. This is where that chat really comes in handy. I usually leave it up for a day or so, and then I browse through it after the stream and have a look at what you guys have been posting in detail. Oh, look at that. This is certainly some wreck piece. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Akilites. Exactly. It just frees up that inventory. And there's also, that's the other thing that we can build with the moon pool, with the modification, not the modification station, but the whatever it's called, the thing in the moon pool that allows us to build upgrade modules. So one thing that I'm looking forward to building is the, whoops, oh no, come back. Is this thing with which we can build a storage upgrade for the sea moth. That's something I'm looking forward to. Let's see if we can find anything exciting in here. Can we actually get in here somehow? Oh, yes. Ah, damaged wiring. That's a tool for, it's a job for the repair tool. Aha. Oh, great, that still works. I'm ever so chuffed. The repair tool, I gotta read you this. Let me go back to my sea moth before we explore that wreck. The description for the repair tool is hilarious. Let's see if I can find it. It is so funny. When I read that the first time, I laughed out loud. It was really nice. So I guess it's equipment. Repair tool. There we go. Most people don't care why it works, just that it saved their life that one time. But in case you're curious, it combines scanner and fabricator technologies to determine the proper specifications for the targeted object and then rearranges the available physical material to match the original specs. The Altera repair tool, get your fix. It is so hilarious. Imagine we had a tool like that in real life. Wouldn't that be cool? Anything that's broken, you don't need to know really how to make it right. The repair tool figures it out and then just goes and does it. I love it. I love technology. One day we'll have that as part of the iPhone, I'm telling you. They're probably already working on it. My goodness, 3 graph trap fragments. Well, the good thing is we have the graph trap, so we don't really need that. And this girl here, at the inside of every locker, we see the same girlfriend. So either they all had the same girlfriend, or women in the future all look the same. I don't know. Sea glide fragment. We've got that already as well. Let me just scan these things so that the things go away, turns them into titanium. I think the entry for that scanner tool is similarly funny because it says something along the lines of, if a component is damaged, like this thing here, the graph trap fragment, the scanner extracts how this thing was made, and then it goes and takes it into its primary elements, such as titanium or whatever. It's usually titanium that it's made of, and then you can at least use the raw materials for something else. That's recycling at its best. Okay, we can go in here. I don't know if that's wise on my limited oxygen supply. Perhaps then, so that I don't leave it to the last minute again, let's go out again. Grab some air, from maybe fresh air instead of the sea moth air. Go back down and see what else is hiding in this piece of wreck here. Part of the challenge is always finding your way back out of these things. What is up and what is down? I can't tell right now. Ah, mobile vehicle bay fragment. I think that is the thing that we need. The mobile... No, actually, we've got the mobile vehicle bay. That's the thing that built the sea moth in the first place, I think. Is this the way out already? Or is this going further in? Oh, okay, that's the way out again. So, was that it? It's got to be something else. Sea glide. And mobile vehicle brake fragment. Okay, well, you know, better than nothing. Acolytes, amen to that. This is exactly how it works. All these concepts from the Arthur C. Clarke novels, you know, all these things like the totally outrageous science fiction ideas that were solid in thinking are being turned into reality. I mean, there was this company that was working on a space elevator, and they were deadly serious about it. I don't know if they still exist. But that's the thing, you're absolutely right. We've seen this many times in history, that things were just a dream, a mere idea, and then there comes a point where people say, hey, look, why don't we just go and make that and see if it works? And more often than not, it has worked. You can't stop dreaming. You've got to keep dreaming. Very important. Yeah, it's a very good point. Oh, beacon fragment. We've got the beacon, but no problem. Always happy to take some extra titanium here. This is funny. If you look at it from this angle, you can tell, you'd think, well, actually this is a proper piece of metal or whatnot. And then of course you look at it from the side and it's just a plane with a proper opacity map attached, but it looks very real. So that's not just a picture. I think there's some material zones on the outside defined. Maybe it is just a picture, but it's just nice to have that realistic effect with such little overhead in the game engine. Very nicely done. At the end of the day, this is just a plane, so we're talking 4 polygons, 4 vertices, 1 polygon. Sometimes I like playing retro computer games just to see how they've made these amazing effects with the limited hardware that they had at the time. Oh, let's pick that up as well. They were employing lots of these little tips and tricks. Make things look very cool with minimal hardware overhead. Yeah, that is also true. War is the mother of all inventions. Is that what they say? While we're in the vicinity, let's have a look if we can find that life pod. It should be around here somewhere. We should just be able to spot it. If it is in fact here somewhere, it should be fairly close to the surface. Whoops. That is one thing, if any of you are thinking of playing Subnautica, don't rush through the story. The story is great, but it's almost one of those things where you think, hey, sometimes you just want to just look and explore and just drink it all in. The effects are so cool, and the thing that gets me is that this is all done in real time with my fairly old, not that expensive graphics card. I must say that's impressive, very impressive. What's in here? Let's have a look. Propulsion cannon fragment. Do we have the propulsion? Yes, that is so cool. Do you know, I think with the propulsion cannon now in our arsenal, that is something that allows us to pick things up. So we could pick this up and just not put it into our inventory and just go and and move it around. So things like large boxes that need to be removed from doors, that is what that's good for, the propulsion cannon. And with that, we can now indeed, I think we've got the last puzzle that we needed to explore the Aurora. There's another fragment, so I think we've got it now. That's perfect. We can build it. That is so cool. Obviously, if... Oops. I don't like the sound of that. Obviously, if there are wreck pieces that contain more blueprints and goodies, like what we've been finding for a while now. I can hear you, but I can't see you. That's probably better that way. Then it stands to reason that if we go into the biggest wreck of all, namely this, the Aurora, it would stand to reason that we find a lot of goodies in there. And in order to get in there, we have to find a few pieces. And I believe that propulsion cannon was the last thing that we needed in order to make our way in there.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
There we go, we're nearly full. Let's go home and make that propulsion cannon. Ooh, look at that crate. Can't leave before opening that crate. Medkit, always welcome. Let's leave that thing open as well. Very nice. What's this power transmitter? You know, I've never really understood what the power transmitter does. I've never successfully used it, so maybe on this walkthrough, on this playthrough, maybe I'll try it. Oh, people with closed eyes again. What a shame. Propulsion cannon, here we come. Aki, we've missed you. Absolutely right, Christina. I've been playing Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 3. Julie and I have been enjoying that in our spare time recently. And I've never played it when it came out on the PlayStation 2. So when it was on sale for the PlayStation 3, it's kind of a remastered version, we looked at it and it's just so enjoyable. I was a big fan of the Ratchet and, not Ratchet and Clank, the Jak and Daxter series. Mainly the first one. The second and third one we didn't really like that much, but the first one, very exciting. And it's so nice to see these games again. And they look exactly, apart from the high-res or up-res 720p resolution, the textures are exactly the same as they were on the PlayStation 2. And these guys used a game engine that was the de facto standard back then for Sony. I think it was developed by a studio in Santa Monica, Sony Studio Santa Monica, and that was called the, oh my god, what is that called again? There's a game with the same title, something with K. What was that? I can't remember, but that was a de facto game engine that Sony Studio had to write from scratch to be able for other people to make games like that. So quite impressive. And they just look absolutely nice, and very limited hardware that they had, but did an amazing job at bringing us 60 frames a second good entertainment. Very impressive. Do you know, I have so much titanium, I think I'm going to turn the titanium into a couple of ingots, because I think they're a bit space saving and I know we're going to need them later. That's a very good point. Comparing the shallows here with the safe shallows with Martinique. Yeah, you're right. It looks all very beautiful, and there's the odd stalker, but it's not really anything we couldn't handle. But yes, it will get rather crazy later. Fritter some of that salt away, and we've got one spot free here. More titanium. I think perhaps we're just going to make another titanium locker right here. What do you think? Let's do that. Base expansion. Oh yeah, this is also nice here. The picture frame. Let's put some picture frames around next time. That's a great idea. Wall locker. Boom. There we go. There. And quartz. Quartz goes into my quartz locker. There. That's nice. Well, the propulsion cannon, I think that's made here with our replicator. Is it under tools? Tools probably. Aha, there we go. Propulsion cannon. A wiring kit, a battery, and some titanium. Wiring kit, I think that was 2 silver, wasn't it? Whoops. Oops. Electronics. Wiring kit, 2 silver. Alright, let's do this thing. So 1 blob of titanium. Check. A wiring kit. 2 silver makes 1 wiring kit. Let's make it happen. Aki, I don't know CSGO. No, I don't know what that is. Is that for PC or is that a PlayStation game? Now, what was the next thing I needed here? Battery. Oh, it's a battery. Oh, we could use one of our batteries here. I need to make some more batteries. Anyway, do we have some copper? Do we have copper left? We've got some gold. No copper. Yeah. Well, why don't we just ask our scanner room if we can find some copper? Is that how it works? Oh, that's not how it works, is it? Copper isn't going to be found in small pieces. It'll be found in these things like sandstone chunks. I suppose we can do that. Oh wow, okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know that. There's some, I don't really enjoy first-person shooters that much, but some are really nicely done. So I mean, Halo is a classic. I'm really looking forward to that coming out on PC. Or Mass Effect 2 particularly, very well done. That's technically a shooter game, and that's the kind of thing I really enjoy because it's got a nice story going. Oh really? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'm hunting for some copper now, so I can make a battery let us make the propulsion gun. Do you know, I don't recall the grav trap being so close to the ground last time I checked. But hey, just thought I'd mention it. Aha. Silver, not bad, not bad. I played the Mass Effect 2 on the PlayStation 3, and I've bought it for PC, but I've never really looked at it. Just to see if it actually works, and it works really well. 1080p, it looks extremely cool with my current graphics card. So I'm very much looking forward to trying that out. Ah, more gold. Pick up some mushrooms here. We can make some batteries. Maybe I'll make 2 or 3 batteries, depending on how much of that. Let's pick up some of these. Depending on how much copper I find. And then, of course, there's this thing about once you get that prawn suit, we can go and mine as much copper as we like. I don't think we've come across many of the large pieces yet that you can only drill into to extract the resources. Oh, that was the noise that happens when a stalker drops a tooth. Yes, you stalker. Stalker tooth, where are you? Somewhere in here. Oh wow, another one. Nice one. It's just not very easy to find here. There we go. Where's the other stalker tooth? I've seen videos of people building stalker farms so that they can trap a stalker in that little room, and then the stalkers drop their teeth. I don't know how much enameled glass you need. So stalker teeth are important if you're making glass from quartz, and then you put glass and a stalker tooth together, and that makes enameled glass. Oh man. What an idiot. Well, oh, there it is. Stalker tooth. Very nice. Oh, another one. Look at that. This is my stalker tooth farm here. But hey, must not get distracted. Let's have a look at where we can find copper. And my sea moth. Oh, there it is. Yes, Rod, I'd like to know that as well. Did you have trouble with the 2080 so far? Because it's an interesting one, because I've just bought a second Z600 HP workstation, and I've upgraded. It came with a single CPU there, a single Xeon CPU, and I've bought a couple of hexa-core CPUs now, added them there, and it works flawlessly. It came with 24 gigabytes of RAM, so very exciting stuff. And I bought this as a backup for my current Z600, which is the one that we're using right now. And I fixed the problem with the current Z600. So hey, fantastic. So I now have a second system, and that second system is a little bit faster than the original one. And I'm thinking of buying a separate graphics card for that. And if the power holds up, I might buy a 2080. RTX 2080. I don't think I can afford the TI version. I think that'll just be a bit too much for me, but I can just about, especially if one of my clients who owes me money finally pays me, I'll be able to afford the 2080 and then hopefully make that work in the Z600. That'd be really cool. You have the TI version, don't you, Rod? I think that was, you said that last time. You had the TI. And I've looked, the TI versus the regular 2080 is about 30 to 40% more efficient. It has 11 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to the 2080, which has, I think, 6 or 8. So it has almost twice as much. And it's 40% more efficient, but also it takes up it uses nearly 300 watts at peak times of power, and sometimes that's an issue. Sorry, Aki. Oh, so that's interesting to hear, Christina. I didn't know. Do you know what editions they bought? Because that's one of the other things I find really confusing about PC parts. There, the amount of versions and bits and bobs you can buy. I mean, they're just so complicated. And from what I understand, I don't know if that's all true, but from what I understand, there's literally the cards that NVIDIA make themselves, and which are sometimes called the Founders Edition. So there's the when NVIDIA kind of make the reference card, they make a regular version and a Founders Edition. And the Founders Edition can be clocked a little bit higher than the regular editions. And that means they're even more efficient, and they're even available for more amount of money. And so that's one difference. But then, of course, there's all the third-party developers who then go and build their own cards based on NVIDIA's chip. And the way that works is, I believe it's always the NVIDIA chip that's on these cards, but several manufacturers can put them on their own boards and then build their own cooling systems around it. And so the most expensive cards and these variations, they can just basically be overclocked. So there's the regular card, and there's the one that can be overclocked because it doesn't crash. The one that can't be overclocked, for example, the 2060, 70, 80, those that can't be overclocked, they test these chips, and eventually the chip just doesn't respond anymore. And that's the ones that just get sold in the cheaper cards. It's always the same chip, but the cheaper cards can't be clocked as high as the more expensive cards. And as faster you make that chip, the hotter it gets, so the more cooling it needs. So that's why you get some cards that are overclock compatible that sometimes have 3 fans, and then you get the ones that are kind of, regular cards that sometimes have 2 fans. And then one other difference is that there's fans that are the so-called blower edition cards, which means that the heat is extracted towards the back of the card and outside the PC case right away, as opposed to the cards that make sure the heat, usually with 2 fans, is being extracted into the case, but then you'd have to go and extract the heat from the case so that the other components don't overheat. And so those are the regular cards that have 2 or 3 fans on it. And then the cards that have 1 fan on it, those are the blower edition cards. Copper, I like it. Silver, okay, cool. That should be enough. Well, let's go back and build some batteries now. That's the other thing. That's why I would always go with an NVIDIA card, definitely. The AMD cards are good, technically, but many software packages just don't support them, and that's the main issue. So the one that we're using here, the DAS Studio application, many of us are using that is only supporting NVIDIA cards, or NVIDIA compatible cards, like the Asus ones and the Zotac and whatever all these other cards are called, but they're all made with the NVIDIA chip. Whereas the ones that are made with the AMD chip, they are only supported either with patches, or some games and software packages don't support them at all. And that's just not good. There's currently no open standard to support all or both graphic cards together. I mean, there is. OpenCL is a good one, for example, that supports both cards, including the Intel's own cards that are sometimes coming as part of a system on a chip, or as part of these combined CPU and GPU in the same thing. But yes, currently with this, it's a very fragmented thing there. The 1080 Ti has software ray tracing. It doesn't have hardware ray tracing, so you can still use it. It has good CUDA cores, but you're right, it doesn't have hardware ray tracing, and that's what these new RTX cards support. That's why that is so exciting. They support that. They also have a hardware support for a denoiser, for denoising technology, which other cards support as well. But again, they do that in software, not in hardware, from what I understand. The 1080 Ti is still a very, very handsome card, I must say. I'm going to put the stalker teeth into the quartz cupboard just so that, when we need it, I guess we're going to need them with the quartz, I guess. Can't believe how much gold we have already. What do we do with all that gold? Speaking of water, let me drink something. Let me also get something to eat from the food cupboard. There'll come the point where we're going to be able to go and grow our own food, and then all that food scenario is going to be a little bit less at the forefront right now. We have to constantly worry about that. Oh, food, yes, sorry. Oh, does it? Christina, it's interesting. I was thinking about the 1660 as well, because it's kind of it's the upgrade for the 9 980, 970 series. I have a 970, GTX 970, and I was either thinking of getting a cheap 1080 Ti, now that it's hopefully cheaper. They're becoming scarce though, that's the thing. Or getting a 1660. I didn't know it gets bad reviews. How interesting. What's bad about them? And is it one of those things, I mean, it's kind of difficult to answer, I guess, but is it fixable with software, with up and coming drivers? I suppose NVIDIA would hope so. Yeah, 960. How much RAM does it have? I think mine has got I've got the 4 GB version. And back in the day when I bought that in 2016, it was about just under $300, 280, something like that. And the 1660 is currently the same amount of money. The 2080, the non-TI version, is about 700, I believe it is. Right, we have a battery. We've got some acid mushrooms. Let me put those in the copper cupboard. It'd be interesting to see if I do get a 2080, then we'll be able to see the performance of this game on that new card. It'll be kind of interesting to see the difference there. I'm kind of hoping it'll give us a higher frame rate. We'll see. We'll find out. Propulsion cannon. Let's build that. Woo! Can we use it? Can we use it indoors? I don't quite remember. Warps gravity to pull and push objects. There we go. Fantastic. I can't wait to try this out. Oh, what a shame it's night. I like the fact that it twists and turns here. That's very cool. I'll tell you what, let's try this out in the day when it's a bit lighter and we can see what's happening. I believe we have another radio message we could just listen to and we'll see what happens, shall we? What do you say? Look at the message? Let's have a look at the message. Julia's nodding. Let's do that. There, big red flashy light. Play message.
This is Officer Keenan, Light Pod 19.
Oh.
The captain is gone. I have assumed command. The last thing the captain did was give me coordinates for dry land. We regrouped 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. Stay together and good luck. This message will now repeat.
Rendezvous coordinates corrupted. Transmission origin coordinates downloaded. Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Really now? LifePod 19, 300 meters underneath the ocean. I say let's head there and see where that rendezvous coordinate point is on dry land. Maybe it's the same island that we've already found a moment ago. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? And then we'll leave the propulsion cannon experiments for when it's daylight. And then, of course, we're going to put that to good use when we explore. Hey, daylight. What do you know? We're going to put that to good use in the Aurora next Saturday when we're going to board this wreck. And we'll see what goodies await us there. But I think this is a great idea. Let's go ahead and have a look at LifePod 19 and see what we can find there. And then I guess we'll wrap it up after this. Look at these effects. Look at the water effects. It is just so cool. It is so easy to get addicted to these games. Just assuming this is now reality. Somebody, I think in the first episode of this, somebody was saying, hey, water in 3D looks better than water in real life. And that's absolutely true. So, Christina, you're thinking of going with a 1080 Ti if and when you should upgrade your graphics card. And you're also saying the 2080 Ti from NVIDIA is got some kind of issues right now.
All systems online.
Tell you what, I will go and buy a 2080, not the Ti version, but I will go and buy a 2080. All thanks to Patreon donations. That is very, very cool. I must say, I so much appreciate that. It's a combination of YouTube income and Patreon donations. And it means I'm going to have to save up a little bit, but it does mean I will be able to afford that. And then we can all have a look at what this puppy can do, both in DAZ as well as Blender, and of course what it can do for video games. So the 970 that I have currently, that is a very capable card, still is. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to give that away. But with the backup system, I think it's a great idea to just have a full backup system rather than one in which I'm going to have to rip the GPU out of one system and put it into the other. So I'm thinking that's a wise investment concerning the future. By the way, I've received about 30, 40 submissions now from so many people around the world who have been kind enough to render that test scene that I talked about a few weeks ago and gave me the render results. And my aim is to compile something against which we can evaluate the render performance under DAZ Studio with various types of cards. So that's just a scene made up of primitives there, the cube, the sphere, and I think the cone. And it's one of those scenes that on my card takes about just under half an hour, I think. And David Davis, one of my new Patreon supporters who joined me yesterday in the chat, lovely bloke, he lives in France, and he has a Z2080 with 3 GTX 1080 Ti cards in there. And with that monster system in DAZ Studio, I think his render time was about 7 minutes. So all these cards rendering in tandem, very, very cool idea to do that. So yeah, so all that makes me hungry for some more rendering performance. Rod's stories about his 2080 Ti, and that's just, we got to experience that. RTX technology, what's it called? Turing technology, I believe named after Alan Turing, I believe, British mathematician who was instrumental in building the Enigma machine.
Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
If it's so greatly decreased, because maybe we can put our other helmet on. Oh, I've got that. Oh, I haven't got that with me. Oh, that's not good. Do I have my oxygen tank? Yes, I've got that. Okay. I should have brought my other helmet, otherwise we can't stay underwater for so long. Actually, let's just tell you what, let's just go and grab it. Let's just go and grab that other helmet. This is far away enough from the crash site, so
This region is unusually low. Cause unknown.
oh no, Rotti has 3 1080 Ti's. But of course, we were discussing what would happen if you put 3 2080 Ti's into a system. I mean, that's just real-time iRay no matter what you throw at it, almost, It's, I believe it's possible. It's just a matter of the power supply. So when he first mentioned this to me, he said, I was immediately curious about how he would, with 3 1080 Ti's, how he would get so much power. And it's one of those things that the Z820 workstation has about 1200 watts of a power supply, and that's really made for heavy duty kind of rendering and all that. So no matter what you throw at it, there is enough power in there. My Z600 has 650 watts built in, and it's a 10-year-old computer, so it's fairly cool that they thought that far ahead. And he has gone so far to add an additional small power supply that is in the in the Z820 housing, so that one card can be powered from that external power supply, and two cards and his two Xeon processors can be powered from the stock power supply. Well, that's partly one of my worries, that if I were to splash out now and get a 2080 Ti, I don't know if I'd have enough power. They recommend a 650 watt power supply, and I have that, but there's also the consideration that I have two Xeon processors, both of which eat up about 100 watts. So there's the 300 watts of the card. So then we're talking, that's 500 watts already, and you think, well, that's just a lot, isn't it? So I just don't know if that would work. So I'm thinking, for the sake of money as well, let me go for the slightly lower powered 2080 non-TI, and we'll see what happens. I'm making a video about how I'm building that computer as well, so as soon as it's all fully there, I will post that for you guys. That's right, Rod. Octane is pricey. I was thinking of experimenting with that as well. But at the same time, it's just another hardware render engine, I think. So the front end then doesn't matter. There's Octane for Carrara, there's Octane for DAZ Studio, there's Octane for all kinds of other things. It is, at the end of the day, just another hardware rendering engine, hardware supported rendering engine. I believe the good thing about Octane is it doesn't just support NVIDIA graphics cards, so I suppose that's why some people are saying, hey, that's just what I need, because with iRay we're still locked in to NVIDIA, and those folks who have invested into good AMD graphics cards, well, they just can't use any of that stuff. Which it's weird, isn't it? Because on one hand, you're not only narrowing the market to a certain graphics card users now, you're also narrowing the market to certain operating system user. So those things, I believe they are supported in Linux, but Mac users, there's just no hardware, very limited hardware to even put external GPU in there. Oh my goodness. Just about got away with it. Let me go change my helmet here, and then we're going to go and go down, see what that LivePod has to offer. Yeah, unless you have a Mac Pro or an external super overpriced hardware enclosure, GPU enclosure, you won't be able to do anything with that amazing external GPU under Mac OS, and I think that's just a shame. And since my friends at Apple, ooh, lithium, I like it. Since my friends at Apple are not exactly keen on putting NVIDIA cards into their systems anytime soon, probably the latest takeover bid has failed or whatever, I don't know. That's just a shame. Another interesting thing we found here, which is a gel sack. Let's pick it up.
New blueprint acquired.
I'm so glad I got that rebreather. He's evil here. This is an evil plant, this guy here. He just hits me with darts or whatnot. Oh, look at that! That is the power cell charger fragment. Let's see if I can scan it before this thing kills me. Okay, I've so had enough of you. Eye stalk. Oh my god, is that going to kill me? That's terrible. Inventory full. Man, we haven't even looked at that. At that life pod yet. Oh, it's because of these things. I didn't mean to pick those up. I just wanted to kill this guy. This is interesting too here. Ruby. We're going to need that for some stuff. Geological data on Ruby. Okay, let's fill up our... Oh, there's another more gel sacks here. Look at that. I'm so glad we came. Look at that. What an expeditious journey we've had already. I think what we could do with really is a health pack. So I'm kind of hoping we're going to find that in that wreck up there. But I think for now, let's just go quickly swim up into the sea moth before we completely die. Oh yeah, I understand. And Octane is working with NVIDIA, but I think in addition to that, it's also working with AMD cards. I think that's the cool thing. Well, there we go. Health packs. I love it. We can eat these gel sacks. I don't think I'll do that though, because it's, you know, it's nice to preserve them for whatever project we've got planned in the future. Okay, let's go back down. Isn't it crazy? Yeah, I know. We all have such a cheap hobby. Every time we want to do something, you got to pay somebody. Hardware manufacturer, software manufacturer, content creator. Oh, LifePod 19. Second Officer Keen's voice log. Ay caramba, mamacita. Let's have a look at that when we get back into safety. For now... What's happening on the inside here? So I guess that big fish that he was talking about, he definitely had his goal at this thing. When I played this game the first time, I was thinking maybe we can deconstruct some of these things in old life pods, but I guess that's not quite possible.
Signal location uploaded.
Ah, LifePod 19 Second Officer Keen's crew log. Good stuff.
New PDA data.
So we must remember this LifePod 19's location, and we can go and investigate this a little further here. Some creature eggs. I won't pick those up right now, but they're kind of interesting to hatch new creatures in your own habitat, in your own environment. It's like an interesting place down here for some resources, and we have to find a way to kill this guy next time for sure. I'm going to pick up some more ruby here, because I know it can be... Oh, okay, oxygen. Yeah, I'm going to go and change my tank. There we go. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. And this could be interesting. More gold. Ow! I said don't shoot. Man. Okay, let's get out of here and see if we can reach that sea moth. This is where the sea glide would come in handy. Or that expansion so that we can take that sea moth all the way down. And while we're in this super creepy place here, perhaps we can listen to Officer what's his face's crew log here. Now we've listened to that already, but there is somewhere data downloads. There we go. Officer Keen's crew log. Oh, to all the crew. Oh, he doesn't. It's not an audio version then. Okay, cool. If you're reading this, then you have followed the automatic distress signal broadcast by this LifePod's onboard computer, contrary to my orders. I have been forced to evacuate. Your orders are to disregard my safety and attempt to reach the designated rendezvous coordinates at the nearest landmass. I hope to see you there. Well, so I'm hoping that this is in fact what he's saying. Oh, there we go.
Keen, this is Aurora. Come in. This is Keen. Life point attached to a Cape Planet fallen perspex. The computer has identified a landmass at the attached coordinates. I want you to regroup the crew there. Understood, but they are your responsibility now. Don't let them down. Captain, you need to evacuate. Negative. You'll need the ship in one piece if you're going to contact HQ on the long range. I'm attempting a controlled descent. Captain?
That didn't go so well, did it? I'm glad we have a recording of that, though. I'm not entirely sure where those new coordinates are then that everyone's raving about. Oh, hello. What have we here? It's small, but certainly a wreck worthy of our exploration, I take it. Well, I'll tell you what, we're coming up to 2 hours here, so I think maybe we'll do that next time. We know this is close to LifePod 19, so let's go home and park our thing there. Oh, look at that, we've got the Aurora rendezvous point on dry land. That's what I was interested in. That's fairly close to here. Maybe we should go and have a look at that. And then we're going to go and wrap it up. Ooh. Hi, caramba, look at that. This is another island. And of course it's night, so we can't really see it that well. But we've got coordinates. And this, I mean, from what I can make out here in the dark of night, it doesn't look like the same island that we've had a look at earlier, like the one that where this structure is on there, the kind of this crazy green thing. So this looks very different. So I wager, actually I know, there are 2 islands in this game. One is this, and one is at the other end, the one that we kind of accidentally discovered earlier. So very interesting. We've got our location point on here. So I think we're going to leave that and the Aurora for the next time. Let me go back to base now, and then we'll go and save the game, and we're going to call it a day, I guess. What a successful day. We found the propulsion cannon with which we can go into the Aurora now. We found not 1 but 2 islands. We barely escaped with our life several times there, one being almost killed. Oh, he looks nice. Huh. One time almost killed by some plant. I mean, seriously, that's just, it's embarrassing. And of course we found the moon pool fragment, which is very cool. And we not only did that, we also built a moon pool. So I think that is very, very cool. I think that's definitely reason to celebrate. Let's celebrate with coffee. I always like coffee. Right, I'm going to go ahead and watch your videos. I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to be a good rot fest. I'm off over Easter, so I've got about 3 or 4 more off days. And I'm going to research some graphic cards and see if I can pick one up from Amazon and put it into my new Z600. I've already tested it out, bought a Windows license for it, put the new CPUs in. Comes with 24 gigabytes of RAM. Did I say that? Very cool. Only for $200 from eBay. And even though it's an old system, it is very capable still today. And I really like the idea of reusing older hardware so that it lasts. And make good use of it as a good rendering rig. What are your plans over Easter, guys? I keep thinking I need to park this thing just by our base here, but I don't have to. I can go and park it right here. Well, actually, that answers our question. We have been away, and that fourth leg of that moon pool is still missing, so I guess it's not coming back. Maybe it's because there's a bit of a ditch here. Maybe it's a little bit too low for that, don't know. And Christina, I'm very much looking forward to your video and see how I can learn to improve the geometry of my text objects. So very exciting stuff. I'm very much looking forward to that. I think we will end the game in our little observatory here and cue that funky music. Oh, in fact, let's build a chair. I always like building a chair. I think the last chair that we had here, when I go and sit on it, I don't use up any of those, like, you know, food and water values. I'm going to pop that right here. Boom, there. Ha! Sit down on the swivel chair. Ah. Great. That's us sitting in the observatory. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today on this wonderful Easter Saturday, if that is in fact a word, I don't really know. But yes, it was lovely. It was wonderful having you. And I hope I'm going to see you again next, when is it? Friday, for the 3D Shenanigans stream. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, what I'm going to cover, but if you have any ideas of stuff that you'd like to see, please let me know. And we'll see if we can get that going. Also then, 1 week from now, Subnautica Saturday, we're going to try and explore the Aurora and have another wonderful hangout here on YouTube, just like we had today. Guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Saturday and Sunday and a wonderful Easter Monday. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.